Hey guys, NinjaGuyX here, and I'm a simple man. Sometimes I like to play action games, sometimes I like to play RPGs, and sometimes I like to play horror early Resident Evil trilogy throwback games that are made by one single developer. And what could be better games than the Outbreak series to scratch that itch? The main reason why today I'm talking about this series is that it could potentially be coming to Stadia. But before we dive into it, we need to look more into the games and explain a few things, such as, what is the Outbreak series? Why do some people either like them or hate them so much? Why is the game potentially coming to Stadia? And what can we do to make it happen? I'm sure that you guys are curious to look into these subjects, so let's jump right into it.
Outbreak.
So Outbreak is currently a series of 7 games that started back in 2017. They are made by Dead Drop Studios, which is actually only a single developer called Urichizu. As you can see in the videos, they are borrowing elements of the old Resident Evil games. The amount of time that the game takes to complete depends on what type of player you are. If you're just looking to breeze through the game on the easiest difficulty, they will most likely take you around 2 hours each to finish. But if you're looking to get the most out of the games, they can take 10 hours or even more depending on which one you play. Every game is an improvement of the other due to the dev increasing his budget and self-improvement. The reason people like them so much is out of pure nostalgia. The elements of puzzle, survival, and even the controls are the perfect formula for matching the 90s feel of what the old horror genre was at the time. The stories are very gripping and I'm personally pretty hooked at playing them. I'm almost 4 hours in Contagious Memories, which is the last game, and can't wait to get back into it. It's also very fun to play with a friend since 5 of the games has a local co-op. The puzzles are what makes the game progress, and it's never too hard to a point of pulling your hair out or anything. But you might need a notepad near you to remember a few things. Now, you must be wondering, why the heck is NinjaGuyX praising these games? They sit on an average of 65% on Steam, and all I'm hearing on YouTube is negativity towards the games. Well, let me explain to you why, and it's very simple. This game is tailored to a very niche audience. Going blind into them, you'll definitely be raising an eyebrow. It's very important to understand what the games are before jumping in. Most of the criticism that I see online are things such as, "Oh, there's not enough ammo," or "Why does headshot takes more than one bullet?" But they're actually mechanics made like that on purpose. Changing the game to make it look like a modern zombie shooter would just make it lose the intention of what the game is in the first place. For example, imagine someone who only plays racing game and then he's assigned to review a Dark Souls game. We know already that this is not going to end well. It's the same situation here. If you don't like the old 90s Resident Evil formula, then there's absolutely not a single reason for you to purchase these games. For sure the series is not perfect, but you need to keep in mind that this is only made by one single person and you can purchase most of these games for less than $15. Heck, I'm looking at the store right now and I can purchase the Nightmare Chronicles for $2.84 Canadian. Like I said, the games are not perfect. I've encountered some object clipping bugs in Lost Hope for example, but it's not a mess like people seem to think it is. The dev do support the game after the release since I've looked at a review of Contagious Memories and most of the issues that they talked about was addressed while I gave it a try. Okay, so the purpose of this video is actually to talk about this game potentially coming to Stadia, but given the nature of the game, I felt like it needed some explanation to get a little bit of a background. So let me tell you what happened. It all started with our good Stadia friend Cody Maloney, who learned that the Outbreak series was done on Unity, which is a perfect candidate for porting them to Stadia. So Cody DM'd the Dead Drop Studios account asking if there's a chance of seeing the series on Stadia. The dev responded that he wouldn't be opposed to the idea. This is when the dev started to work on looking if it would be worth putting the games on the platform. He actually monitored a few things. The first was to look if the community was willing to support the port happening. And he noticed that the sales on other platforms significantly jumped after publicly posting his interest. His second observation was to make a poll and see if the community would be willing to help crowdfund the port. And you guessed it, a significant amount of people voted that they would via Indiegogo. And the last observation so far was to see if we were interested in seeing these games go on Stadia Pro. Now I'm just repeating myself, but the results were again very positive. So as you can see with these results, Dead Drop Studios is definitely considering the port of the Outbreak series on Google Stadia, but it's not in the bag yet. Porting costs money, And with him only being a single developer, he has to be really careful with his revenue since losing money can potentially break his career. So his plan at the moment is to bring as much attention to Stadia as possible so they can make it happen. As a side note, you should see his Twitter account at the moment. It's overflowed with tweets related to Stadia. He's really working hard at trying to make it happen. And now, what can we do to help out to make this happen? Well, Urichizu clearly said that the best thing that we can do at the moment is to keep it trending. Try to tweet it as much as you can, to retweet and comment on his tweets that he's currently posting. Use hashtags such as #BringItToStadia or #Stadia100. Everything you can do to put some attention, like talking about it on Stadia Discord and Facebook. This is what he believes that will bring the attention for Google to make it happen, and this makes sense to me. You can also support this on the side by purchasing the games on other platforms, but make sure to mention that you've purchased the games in hope that he can port them to Stadia. Even though buying games on another platform doesn't seem like the solution, putting money in the pocket of a developer can definitely influence their decision. I personally bought the whole series on PC to support this and have been enjoying them quite a lot. So guys, this is the current story of Dead Drop Studios potentially porting their games on Stadia. Hopefully this was a good summary that explains the current state of what's happening. Do you think that there's a good chance that we get these games ported on the platform? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the type of content, and subscribe as it greatly helps me for things in the background. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next video.